Ladies and gents, welcome back. Glad to see so many of you guys already in the chat room, hanging out, doing your thing. If you're tuning in live, this is the live stream every Friday evening. I put together a bunch of stories that I couldn't get to throughout the week, and then we discuss them. All kinds of things happen in these live streams. I don't tend to get to everything that I want to anymore, even in the live streams, because we just get joking and memeing about all kinds of other stuff. But here we are. It's the live stream. If you're tuning into this after the fact and watching the replay video of this, well, this is long form content. Enjoy it. This I'll be hanging out with you for the next hour and a half to 2 hours, something like that. These tend to go quite long, but hey, we're having fun here. Why not? Let's do this. And you know, right now we're just waiting for everybody to get the notifications to come in, to filter into the room. I noticed some people get in here way quicker. Let me know in the chat, how are you getting notified? Are you in the Discord? Are you on the Twitterverse out there in the ether? How are you getting notified ahead of time before I even go live? I know most people get the notification as soon as I do go live, and then then we do that. I tend to just ramble for the first little bit. For anyone who's watching this post live and in the recorded, I do a bit of rambling in the beginning because I'm waiting for everybody to get in here, because not everybody is right there waiting for that notification. Some people get it and go, oh yeah, I forgot. Clyde's streaming tonight. This is a thing. The resurrection of Clyde Do Something. Something happened to me? Why am I being resurrected? YouTube notifications when you came live in Ontario. Nice. Good to see my fellow Ontarian brethren. I'm originally from Ontario. I grew up in Windsor, Ontario. Good memory. Nice. What are we doing? Where are we going down tonight? The glory hole or the rabbit hole? Yeah, well, I'm gonna stay away from the glory holes, but we do have health recommendations that have come down from our almighty CDC. Not ours, actually. It's from the United States CDC. They're giving recommendations on what to do with COVID anymore. I'm surprised my video didn't get taken down, because sometimes it takes a while for YouTube to realize which CDC and which recommendations they go by, because you could say something that's kosher now because of the recommendations, but they haven't caught up quite yet. Yo, Clyde is live. Pamela Thrasher, welcome to the chat. Welcome. Jordan Birch, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. No comment there. If you want to leave a comment, just jump in the chat and leave a comment. But thank you for your generosity. Really appreciate that. Salty Crackers stream just got whacked. What? Whacked by what? He got it taken down or what? What's the story there? Health Canada just copies the CDC's homework. actually, I wonder if they will this time, though, because this time it's actually like freeing things up instead of clamping things down, giving them more excuses to do horrible things to the citizenry of this country. So we'll see what they actually do with that. They'll be following the science, and they say that the science changed. Whatever, if it gets us back to normality, welcome that. I don't necessarily believe that that's what they're going for, but they may have to take that kicking and screaming. Please hit the like. Absolutely, hit that like button. Hey Clyde, hi there. Tammy, how you doing? That's the thing with rabbit holes. Rabbits make the holes on purpose with a dead end to confuse the enemy, to make them give up, and only one hole leads to the burrow. I did not know that rabbits did that. That's clever. I know their reproduction strategy is not so clever. Just make as many as possible. Hope a couple of them survive. That's a thing. Salt emoji is gone? What, really? There's no more salt emoji? That's sad. That is absolutely sad. I thought it would still be in there. What did they just YouTube itself get rid of it? That bee was a patriot. We're gonna get into that. Why don't we? Thanks for your thanks for your growing channel. Enjoy it much. Thank you so much. Political foolishness. Dear Clyde. Salt and a shield and the shields. There you go. Sure hope you don't have any money invested in China. Zero. Zilch. Zip. Is their economy tanking? I know that they have empty husks of buildings all over that the Chinese people put their money into foolishly, and that's not going to go very well for them at all. I don't believe so. But I mean, are we doing much different here? Are we doing much different here with the housing market and the way that thing's going? Unbelievable. Speculated up the wazoo. Hindenburg. Okay. They're the economic Hindenburg. I think there's going to be a whole global one of those. I believe so. Hey, why don't we get into some of this stuff? Because I didn't even know about this one thing until I saw you guys talking about it in the chat. And I was like, oh, no, really? Is this new? I got to check it out. I got to see what's happening. I hope no one's invested money in JT. Oh, he's been making a killing. He's been making a killing, embezzling from all of us, allegedly. That's an alleged thing that I heard about. Dear Clyde, please do something. Working on it. How do you have almost 5,500 votes up with like 200 watching? I have 5,500 votes up. No, it's 96 likes at the moment. I don't know where you get that. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can't get up to that many votes up. Hello from BC. Hello from right here. Right here in BC with you. Right with you, brother. Anyway, let's get into this because I thought this was just too funny and I had to share it with you as soon as I saw it. You guys, half of you in the chat already know what I'm doing here. Half of you know what's happening. Oh, let's get this front and center because this is just too funny. This is just too funny. This, of course, is Doug Ford. Good old Dougie boy. Dougie boy swallows a bee during his news conference. I can't believe it. Poor bee. We need those. Here we go.
Move forward, but not coming from the government per se, but the premier. It's coming from the health sector. Holy Christ! I just swallowed a bee. Holy Christ! I knew that little bugger. Oh.
Get her down. Get her down.
Per se, but the
oh,
premier.
The instant
it's coming
replay
from the
here.
health sector.
Just whoa! Right on the inhale.
Holy Christ! I just swallowed a bee. Holy Christ! Holy Christ! Premier is coming from the health sector.
Sweet. Nice.
Holy Christ! I just swallowed a bee. Holy Christ! I knew that little
How did he not get stuck? And he just took it like a champ. Let it go down. And that was something that happened today. Oh, that killed me. That killed me when I saw that. That's too funny. But yeah, lol, poor Dougie. Yeah, Dougie doing the World Economic Forum thing and eating the bugs, jumping ahead of the curve and leading by example, because that of course is what they've been telling us to do. He hasn't quite yet gotten in his pod yet, but definitely on the eating of bugs thing. Insert the mummy spewing bee meme here. Spewing bees meme. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, let's move along because that was funny. But we got some memes. We got some of the good memes that people have been putting in the Discord this week. Of course, the best we could do is fabricate some evidence. What else have we got here? Only 90s kids would remember this one. The select gender. And there's only two choices. Love it. Love it. This one, I don't know why it's so dark, but I thought this was so funny. Some of these, they're getting dark. They're a little spicy, some of these memes. But yeah, this is the hard to swallow pills. Just because you're unattractive and have no friends doesn't mean you're another gender. Brutal. At least Tarzan will always be white, this meme says. And the reason why, because Disney doesn't have the balls to put a black man on screen acting like a monkey. Oof, spicy takes here. When you find a workaround for the depopulation agenda. Oh, that one killed me. I showed that one to the wife. It took her a minute to figure that one out. I guess the one on the left is quite passable. I don't know about that, but yeah, that's a reality. That's a reality that we currently live with. Yeah, a lot ooze in the chat. Unreal. What else have we got here? I was just going through before the stream to find some of the really good ones. Hey, if you have any good memes, get in that Discord and pop them in there. We got the dystopian size Klaus cricket flakes. This is Doug Ford definitely taking a leap with this one this week. Eating the bugs. Oh my god, I can't get over that one. That was just too funny. Just no, yeah. I love how they have them done up like what's that movie? They Live. The alien characters from The Live, the overlords. And if you haven't seen They Live, you gotta watch it. Roddy Piper, wasn't he Canadian as well? Canadian Roddy Piper. The great movie. This one killed me. I shared this one on the channel in the channel community tab today. People making their social media pages so the FBI and IRS will pass them over. It's the modern Passover. To keep the cancel mob away from you, you wipe the blood of the rainbow above your door. Oh, I love this. I love it. Some of these are good. This one's less of a meme and more of just a, yeah. Oh, all right. Nobody is above the law. Starter pack. Laptop, emails, clients, research. Yep. Just. Oh, and the Wojak memes, they kill me every time. I love it. These are the Wojak memes. If you're not familiar, these are the Wojak characters. These are the soy boys that are open mouth breathing and pointing at things. But this is all the things that apparently Trump had done, and it was certain, but then they had to scratch them out for the next thing. So it starts with, will imprison minorities. Well, that never happened. Scratch that. Will start World War III. Wasn't he the first president in decades and decades to not start a new war? It will crash the economy. It did way better. Said shithole countries. Yeah, well, he did though. Putin's puppet. Yeah, no, that didn't end up being the case. Kids in cages. Yeah, not really. That was actually predated him. Stormy Daniels. Oh, said drink bleach. That never happened. Very fine people. And that was the myth about saying that about the Supremes. The Supremes. P-tape. January 6th, and then now it's nuclear secrets in his safe. There you go. Because he's got those nuclear codes that change every 48 hours or something. In his safe. The next crazy one to hit us. Media lies, absolutely. I love this one. Been eating twice as much meat just so that one vegan that thinks they're making a difference is actually making no difference at all. That killed me. Unbelievable. Yeah, mouth breathers. That's correct. Teach your kids early. Close your mouth when you're just standing there. Just close your mouth. Don't breathe in your mouth. It's horrible. It's horrible. You look horrible doing it, and nobody likes the sound and the stench. But those are some of the memes. If you're not yet part of the Discord, join. The link is down below. Discord is a community type social media. Not everybody's familiar with it. but you can create your own communities. It's not like Twitter, where it's like the openness of Twitter, where you're just, you know, shouting into the ether and it's nothing but bots and really, really horrible people being really, really horrible to each other. No, it's actually a cool community place where we can all hang out. And after each one of these live streams, I join in, grab a couple of wobbly pops, and I hang out with all of you. So definitely get in there and come join us after the stream here. Root Dog with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I've been to Canada once, not until freedom improves. We're working on it, man. We are working on it, doing what we can. I'm hoping to get some tradesmen together and do some talking with my fellow tradies. Coming up. We're working on something. It's on the back burner. Conspiracy theories are a spoiler, much like joining the Discord is a meme spoiler. That's true. You guys get to... The Discord sees it all first. I share them here at the beginning of the stream on Fridays, but that's it. Other news. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a bonus stream. We're going to be doing another bonus stream. Actually, this time with Derek Smith, the author of the amazing Canadian book, How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom. That is a Amazon bestseller. In case you didn't know, Amazon bestseller for weeks and weeks until they suppressed it. But definitely, we're going to be doing a stream tomorrow. And actually, not just for chatting and talking, we're actually going to do some nostalgia stuff. Because he's an arcade guy. He's got an arcade in his house. And it's so awesome. And I had the idea, hey, why don't we have an arcade night? And we'll do a live stream and talk about what you have coming up with your books. And we can play some classic games. We're going to be playing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle beat-em-up game tomorrow night. So you definitely got to go check that out tomorrow night, or come back and check that out tomorrow night as well. There's going to be a bonus stream. So that is what we'll be doing then. So, and that'll be starting a little bit later. I believe at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Check your local listings, of course. Such a good book. Absolutely. He was just with Sunshine Baby. Yeah. Oh, he was on tonight on Mr. Sunshine Baby's channel. No way. I knew that they were going to be doing something, but yeah. Awesome. I'm supposed to be going on Jasper's channel at some point coming up as well. We were going to do that just this past week, but something came up with... He's having a baby. So on the one night that we had available, it didn't work. So we're going to have to... We'll do a rain check on that one. We'll get back together, and I'll be going on Mr. Sunshine Baby's channel. On Maverick News, too. Okay, cool. I'm not reading that out loud. That's funny. Olia, $13.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I believe that's isn't that a Mac users? Isn't that just like telling everybody you're on a Apple device when it says 99 cents on your super chat? Anyway, I digress. Are you going to cover the police clearing East Hastings at all? I only heard about that in passing, and no, I don't have that on the agenda, but I could probably pull something up about it. Oh yeah, send me a DM on Twitter with an article about that. I'll go over it. Definitely. East Hastings. For those of you who don't know, East Hastings is a neighborhood in Vancouver, and well, it's like the worst neighborhood in Canada. Need the mood lighting for this. In Hastings, what happens on Hastings stays on Hastings. No, it doesn't stay on Hastings. East Hastings is like the worst place to be. It's just open cesspit of junkies and homeless people that are just left to their devices in Canada. And yeah, it's a tent city at the moment. There's so much homelessness and mental unwellness, and people that are just victims of, I mean, they're victims of their own devices, as well as, some people who have mental illness. But the system's just forgotten them and just left them to the side. They're trying to do things like safe needle injection clinics, which have been a real failure because they didn't actually take the Amsterdam model. But then there's also, we can't message you on Twitter. We're already banned. Root dog. Oh, thanks for the super chat again. Another $5 super chat. Boo. But well, Olya can message me on Discord. That's no problem. But yeah, East Hastings, horrible place, and people are just left to their own devices. And what do? They just legalize all the hard drugs now, and it's not gonna fix the problem. They're still gonna commit crimes to get the money to buy those drugs that are no longer illegal for them to possess. It's just gonna stop them from getting thrown in the clink. A common thing that happens with these junkies is they'll get thrown in the clink, they'll clean up in the clink, and then they'll come back and then they'll shoot up what they're normally used to shooting up, but their tolerances come way down, and then they die of ODs. This is quite a common occurrence here in Canada and on Hastings. I know the opiate epidemic is all over the United States, and it's yeah, that's it's a pandemic. That's the real pandemic, and it's caused by the pharmaceutical companies. If you ate today, thank a farmer. If you have food on your table, thank a trucker. If you ate in peace, thank a veteran. This was shared by others. Amen. Thanks, Clyde. Yeah, man. Absolutely. If you're driving your car, thank a mechanic. But that's just me. That's just me. We don't get much thanks. We just we get people crying in the showroom because they realize how much it costs to fix cars. You really need to budget for this. People absolutely don't do that. Hiring ambulance drivers daily. Is that true? Do you need to have special certification to drive an ambulance? I don't know if you have to be. You would want a paramedic in there, but heard that somewhere. Don't eat bugs. Don't eat bugs. The bugs are no good. Yeah, I mean, if your toilet works, thank a plumber. You know, I mean, you can keep going with that one. You just go forever with that. But hey, why don't we get into some of these stories? If you have working teeth, thank your dentist. I thank my dentist every time I pay him handsomely. That's what I do. Yeah. Oh, that's that whole part of that free healthcare that doesn't include all healthcare in Canada. If it's your teeth, it's not healthcare, apparently. Sir, do we get to win this time? Maybe. What are we winning? I know that if you play stupid games, we all know what you win there. Messing with you, Clyde. It's about the drug problem. Right. Absolutely. Anyway, let's get into this. Red Dog, again with the super chat for $5. Thank you so much. I voted for Obama twice as a child. As a child? As a young adult, I guess. When I became a man, I put away childish things. Then I voted for Trump twice. There you go. Yeah, Trump in the news these days is so weird. It's insane what's going on. So like there's this whole movement of people that hate Trump. They're deranged. They don't even know why they hate the guy. You ask them like, okay, well what did he do? And then they'll say some stuff that CNN said. Well, what if I told you that didn't happen? Wow, there's no nothing for that. So yeah, this derangement is really going off the chains. And what's happening now with this unprecedented raiding of Trump's place, which they're not going to find anything, but they might get some weird technicality so that they can make it so he can't run in the next election. And that's what they're going for, because they know he'll win. That's the problem, is like he'll run and he'll win. And I mean, I think it's funny because Trump just says the dumbest stuff, man. He just says some of the dumbest stuff. But it's the fact that he's a lot of the things that he says is the stuff that people are thinking, right? When they know that the media is lying to them, every politician's lying to them, and then he comes out and he just says the thing that a lot of people are thinking, he's going to get their support. That's just the absolute thing it was. 2 minutes of hate. It was against Trump. Yeah, absolutely. And they demonized the guy. Everybody loved him before it. They loved, or some people like love to hate him. It was just kind of that relationship. But like even Oprah Winfrey was like, when are you going to run for president? And then he did. And then she hates him. It's unreal. But yeah, as long as he would be fine if he was like with the deep state or whatever you want to call it, the establishment. If he towed that line, they would have been fine with him, and he would have been a hero in their eyes anyway. Jughead and Justine are finished for sure. Yeah, when we get an election. When we get an election. When is that going to happen? True. Where's McJuggernuggets lately? I haven't heard much about him. I think he's laying low because he just wants to get his pension. He's going to lay low and pass all these bills. Well, I mean, the Parliament's out at the moment. The Parliament's out. They're all on their vacations, which just the irony of Trudeau going to Costa Rica, and then the newly elected president of Costa Rica, while Trudeau's there, makes not only gets rid of any mandates. He didn't just get rid of mandates. He actively made it illegal to mandate vaccines in his country, right? So here's the thing. We're experiencing this here in Canada right now. So, and Olya will vouch for me on this one. There are companies that are putting out notices to go to parties or like staff parties and stuff. You need to be triple jabbed. It's not even a requirement by law to go into a federal place or you could go into a hospital. You don't need to be triple jabbed. You can get on a plane. All of this stuff. None of it's required, but companies are doing it of their own volition, of their own idea. And they think that this is okay, this idea of ostracizing people and creating these barriers for individuals in society based on the medical status. And you know what? It's absolutely nobody's freaking business what you do with your health. And especially that there's no mandates. I mean, the mandates are suspended in Canada. I think that they should be gone. But yeah, it's absolutely discrimination. And yeah, so in Costa Rica, they've actually made that illegal. They've made it illegal for anybody to have mandates against an individual based on their vaccine status. They cannot discriminate. And I think that was a great step in the right direction. And it should be talked about in the news and how embarrassing that is for our prime minister. Pretty boy prime minister. And holy cow, a bunch of super chats all at the same time. Root Dog with another $5 super chat. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Thoughts on Pierre Poilievre? My thoughts on Pierre Poilievre is I hope he's telling the truth. I hope he says, I hope he means what he says. He looks like a shoo-in for the win. He looks like a shoo-in for the win. But I gotta say, like, I'm not completely decided on the election when it happens. I know I got my ballot for the Conservative Party. I became a member. I'm not a full-fledged conservative. I know I lean conservative on some things. I lean other ways on other things. I don't lean with the Liberal Party. I don't lean with any parties. I'm not a party guy, right? So I like what Poilievre says. I hope he's telling the truth. I hope he's honest about what he's doing. And what he says he's doing. I think he's right on a lot of economic stuff. Is it too late for our economy? I don't know, but it's never too late to do the right thing, in my opinion. He's right about businesses and regulation. In my opinion, I believe he's right about that stuff. But I also like the People's Party of Canada. So the PPC is also something I'm into, and I think that they're growing and they may be a formidable force. I don't know. So I mean, I have opinions. It's kind of early in the game right now, so I will be lending my hand in voting for Pierre Poilievre. Not only in the Conservative running. I also really like Roman Baber, and I really like Leslyn Lewis. I don't like everything about any of them, and I don't, and you know what I mean. I don't get swept up in the cult of personality. So I like things that they're all saying, and I'm gonna help those ones get into leadership within the Conservative Party, but I'm not a party guy. That's not me. Anyway, that's that's my take on Poilievre. I don't think he's part of the left. A lot of people say that he is. They say I don't think that that's accurate. But they say that about Bernier as well. So whatever. Chippy's ATV, thanks for this $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Let's help this fellow out and support his great news and insight. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's great. Olia with $13.99. Just $13.99. Thanks. Thank you a lot. I see the DM. I'm gonna get to that in just a minute. But I'm all caught up on the super chats. Thank you so much. Not election. Hold on, what? Yeah, sorry. Just to be clear, one word selection. I'm missing some of the context here. But just so we know, the Conservatives vote that's coming up, that is within the party. It's an internal party decision on who's going to become the leadership. And then if there's an election after that, then there will be that leader will go up against Trudeau. And but there's so much involved in the voting thing. You really gotta look at your local community as well. I mean, there if your riding always votes Liberal, you need to get involved in the Liberal Party and get rid of the guy that's in there or lady or whatever, and start primarying the Liberals. Start primarying the NDP. Get in there and change all the parties. We can't just like change the Conservatives and then hope that's going to make everything good. No, I got to change the whole country. We got to get in there and be active. Yes, Clyde, you're doing a great job. I'm always entertained. Thank you, Randall. Let's get over here and grab that link. I'm gonna have a look at this global news link from Olia, sending me over chaos as City of Vancouver staff move in on East Hastings tent and structures. 2 weeks after an order came down from Vancouver fire chief to remove tents and structures from East Hastings Street, city staff move in Tuesday with many residents of the area having nowhere to go and a looming police presence. It was perhaps only a matter of time before tensions boiled over, Grace Key reports. Now, I know they say like they have nowhere to go, but is the streets where they should be? Like when you say something like they have nowhere to go, I mean, like that's making the assumption that that's where they ought to be. And I don't agree with that. I absolutely don't agree with that. I think we need more shelters, but it's a complex problem, this whole thing with homelessness, and Canada's just doing a terrible job of it. I think we need to look to countries like Amsterdam and how they've taken care of, not countries like Amsterdam, sorry, like the Netherlands. In Amsterdam specifically, they took care of like a lot of the drug problems. And I'll tell you what, one thing is they keep saying that we need safe needle clinics, and as if that's just the answer right there. No, there's a big giant difference on how in Amsterdam they ran the Safe Needle clinics. The Safe Needle clinics were run privately by a church, and it was donations from the community that sponsored it. There was direct involvement with the community and the people that live there. It wasn't some government funded thing where everybody has a right to come in and come and go and freely do their thing and be rude to the staff or whatever. No, it was done privately, and it was allowed by the government. That's all. It's the only thing that the government did to involve themselves in Amsterdam. And that's what makes things work when people have equity. Equity is all being used wrong in these days. People say things need to be equitable. You know how things get equitable? You know how you make things equitable? You make them equitable by people owning them. That's where equity is. Equity is in the ownership of something. You can't just expect people to. And Jeannie P, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate it. But you can't just assume, and this is the problem with commons. When something is common, when something is available to everyone at no cost, it is worthless, and people will treat it as if it's worthless. They'll only give value to something if they have a stake in it. And you can't just go with the Klaus Schwab stakeholder capitalism thing, because where are the stakeholders? Where are the stakeholders in that system? He doesn't explain it. It's just corporate mumbo jumbo for we want to own everything, and you get nothing, and you're a stakeholder because you just happen to live in the serfdom that they want to bring about. No, the way it works is in Amsterdam, the churches were funded directly by the community, and the churches dealt specifically directly with the drug addicts, and they helped clean them up. They had something invested in it, and they didn't want to overspend. They were frugal. They saved every penny that they could, and if people misbehaved, they got kicked out. And the truth of the situation is it was better to go into the Safe Needle clinic for these drug addicts than it was to be out in the park. And this is what cleaned things up. It was great. It was a good thing. But we have this notion and this externalization that Canadians typically have, and not everybody, but this is with this whole idea of like, because we all have universal health care, which is, how's that working out for us right now? But we have all these systems that are, somebody else pays for it. Yeah, we all pay taxes, but somebody else pays for it. And there's no question of how much is that going to cost? What is the impact to our community going to be? No, it's just somebody else should pay for it. I think, and this is the charitability of the left. The charitability of the left is, I really like this cause and I would like all of society to pay for it. They don't want to foot the bill. You'll find more people in like small communities. I give to churches, and I don't go to church, but I'll give to churches. I'll give to church groups because I know that in my town, that money's going to go to a good cause because they're going to be frugal with it. If they're wasteful, then the community will shut that down so fast because there's accountability. There's accountability with the people that are right here with you in your neighborhoods, in your towns. This is why I believe in a bottom-up mentality. But yeah, this is the charitability of the left. It's, well, I pay taxes and I have this thing that I really care about, so let's just throw money at a thing, and it ends up making things worse. It ends up making things worse altogether, absolutely. But here we are. Here we are. What happened? I was on. This is how the news works. Oh goodness. I gotta go find the link again. What did they do to their website? They auto linking over at different things. I don't like that at all. Global, fix your terrible thing. Okay, so here we go. More. Is there not more on that? Sorry. Oh, there's just visuals of it. All right, let's have a look.
Faced off with police before punches were.
Okay, I can't show the video of this. I'm gonna show stills of it. So yeah, they're gonna have issues with people. Yeah, these so many just like not well people on those streets, and it's sad. It really is. It really is sad because these people, they just get thrown to the curb, and then that's it. And I've driven Hastings so many times because you got to go through Hastings. You got to go through. Why does that guy look familiar to me?
I'll be back here next week.
Anyway, you got to drive through Hastings to go to a lot of things that are in Vancouver. Like, we go to a Japanese grocer all the time. We got to drive Hastings to go there. It's on Clark Street. But yeah, what do you say to this? What do you say to this? Are they gonna? Okay, they're not showing any of this stuff. Okay, no violence. No violence. You can't show me that stuff. I can't put it on YouTube.
Removing structures and tents along Hastings Street.
You don't think these things will be back here next week?
Some started taking down their tents and packing up their belongings, but the question on everyone's mind, where to go next?
It's a darn good question. Honestly, probably nowhere. I think at this point, I mean, I really don't have any other options, so I'm probably just going to stay where I am.
It's like the same thing.
Well, okay, well, you didn't have options. That's why you ended up on Hastings, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, there's a gravity. The gravity sends them there. They get kicked out of the other towns that they've hung out in or whatever. They get the signal, say they're from Toronto or Calgary or any of these other towns. You'll freeze in the winter. I think they used to give bus rides when Greyhound still existed. They would just like let homeless people from around Canada get on a bus to go to Vancouver to live on the streets there because they won't freeze to death. That was a thing. I don't know if it is anymore, but that was definitely a thing. East Hastings Street in downtown core is the issue. Well, unfortunately, it's everywhere, Clyde. It is everywhere, but this is the you know, the gravitational pull for a lot of these people is Hastings because it's where the drug dealers are at. It's where all the other druggies are at. So it's a congregation. Yep, one-way bus, ferry tickets, buddy. Victoria here. Yeah, okay. They even gave ferry tickets. Holy cow. The most expensive ferry in the planet. The communist ferry system. Absolutely horrible. And the support services are there too. Yeah, okay. So yeah, then yeah, if you OD, you're more likely to survive here because they're gonna be right there to do that. Right turn, Clyde. I haven't heard that one actually in a while. But yeah, this is the case here. And the entitlement is something that they've been, you know, fed for decades. That this is something that they're entitled to. I should be able to go live on the streets in front of businesses. You know what's really sad is there used to be a vibrant Chinatown there. Chinatown used to stretch that whole area, and it was they got pushed into that area where Chinatown was, and I feel so bad for the Chinese merchants that lost their businesses due to all of this stuff that's happening in Vancouver. And then there's there's a bank building that was a bank, and then they were doing some renos, I guess, and they found some bones underneath, and then it got claimed and then ended up becoming a squat in Vancouver. And yeah, it's not a pretty sight. It's the reason, yeah, unbelievable.
When we had Tent City last time, they said they were going to get us housing. Nothing.
BC Housing released a statement reading in part, "We have been clear with the City of Vancouver and Vancouver Fire Rescue Services that on short notice, we do not have access to large numbers of new spaces in Vancouver to accommodate the timing of the emergency order." Vancouver Fire issued the removal order on July 25th. So far this year, there have been 1,016 fires causing damage in the area. Hastings between Maine and Columbia was blocked off while tourists looked on. Work began in areas designated as high risk, starting in front of the vacant Regent Hotel.
The challenge that would be to have with putting up any kind of ladders into these buildings, and supplying water into this building right now is completely inaccessible. So there is a fire department connection on the building somewhere, and there is no indication of where that is right now.
Their possessions will stay with them. We're not going to be removing any possessions from them, and we have storage options for them.
Temporary storage has been arranged for people's belongings as crews start with the cleanup. The work is expected to continue in the coming weeks.
Unreal.
Grace Key, Global News.
Unreal. But you know, they'll just be back. They'll just be back. And that's the sad reality of the situation. They will just be back. And, you know, you got to feel for these people. But we have, you know, politicians that just want to, they either want to just sweep it under the rug or they just want to throw money at the problem. And neither of those things are going to solve the issue. They're not going to solve the issue. But yeah, I mean, they're junky garbage, you mean? Yeah, it is junky garbage. And it's all going to be back. It's not going to fix the situation. You really have to start worrying when they don't come back. Yeah, like what happened to them. Yeah, that's interesting. But the thing is, the opiate epidemic is still raging. It's still raging, and it's not coming to a close anytime soon. We're not getting over the fact that we basically numb anybody that has pain. That's where it starts. Like, and I always thought, like, well, how do people get hooked on heroin anyway? You just like, one day you're at a party and somebody says, "Oh, pass me the heroin." Like, that doesn't happen. Maybe it happens to some people. I always wondered until one time I was on a Greyhound bus and I was going from Sudbury to Toronto. This was when I was really young, and I was on the bus and I just sparked up a conversation with some dude that was on the bus, and I'm like, "Oh, well, what are you heading down to Toronto for?" And he says, "Oh, I'm going for my methadone." Like, what? You don't look like a junkie to me. And he says, "Yeah, well, it all started because I had a sore back." And basically what happened was he had a sore back, and then next thing you know, it just, the doc's just like, "Here's some painkillers." Instead of like, "Let's help you out. Let's get some physiotherapy. Let's get you on," because physiotherapy is not covered by Canadian healthcare. Think of that for a second. Think of that. We're putting all this money into a third-party payer system that is universal health, but what is it? It's post-injury health. That's all it is. It's after catastrophic health. You know, we're not taking care of people and making sure they're healthy. We are just taking care of people after the fact. And what's the MO? The MO is just appease their pain, numb it with pharmaceuticals. And it's not a good thing. Physiotherapy. I do physiotherapy. I have a sore back sometimes. And I used to have a rib that chronically would pop out in my back. And it was horrible. And so I ended up going to the doc one day and I said, "Listen, what can I do? What's your best bet?" And they're like, "Well, do you want drugs?" And I'm like, no, like, what? How can I fix this so it's permanently fixed? And they're like, "I don't know, go to physio." And I had gone to chiropractors for a long time and they would just pop it back in. They're like, "It's just going to pop out again." And then I went to physiotherapy. And my physiotherapist ended up trying a procedure called IMS. It's intramuscular stimulation therapy. And they use like acupuncture needles, but instead of acupuncture hocus pocus, they actually go into the muscle tissue and stimulate it so that it'll release and then heal. And what do you know? I don't ever have that problem anymore. Instead of just numbing it with painkillers, I actually got to the root cause of the problem, and now I don't have that issue anymore. And that's how our medical system should work. That's how things should go. But no, I met this guy who ended up becoming a heroin addict because he was just trying to numb the pain. At doctor's orders, numb the pain. I got a sore back. All right, here, just take that. And then it wouldn't cut it for him. And then well, can I get more? Can I get more? Until the point where he was topped out on his prescription, couldn't get any more, and then he turned to the streets. It started with oxycodone, and then it progressed. Next thing you know, it all ends up in a blur, and he's shooting up heroin. And there he is, like, going down to taking a 5-hour bus ride to get methadone every other weekend because they wouldn't give him more because they didn't trust him with it, and for obvious reasons. Anyway, I'm going on a rant here, but I feel bad for people who are living a life where they're junkies, you know what I mean, and how they get there. There's many different reasons why people get there, and I feel bad for them, but I also know that you cannot just squat on the street. Like, this is just not a solution for it, and we need to come up with a solution as a community. We need to come up with a solution as a city, a province, a country. It's something that makes more sense than just throwing money at it. It's so stupid, and politicians get to cut ribbons and give themselves pats on the back and feel good about it, and I don't think they deserve any of that. They deserve none of it. Anyway, sorry, going down a dark path tonight. Oh yeah, thank you so much for another $6.99 super chat. Don't forget, 2 fires this year due to the homeless mishap. They are taking over Crab Park now. It's stupid. It's stupid. You're just displacing them, and then they're just gonna go harass another neighborhood. It's the way it is. It's the way it is, and yeah, it's a really unfortunate thing, and it's because we're not addressing the problem at its root cause. We need to just like the physiotherapy needs to be our approach for healthcare. That's how we need to approach these problems in our society. We need to get to the root cause of the problem, and a lot of that root cause is pharmaceutical companies just raking it in at everyone's misery. I honestly believe if you can't fix your AIDS with diet and physiotherapy, things like that. I mean, obviously, the drugs do have reasons for them, but yeah, no, I just think that things are overly prescribed, and it's at the detriment to society. Anyway, let's move on to some more, a little bit less. Get off the sugar. Absolutely, I'm pretty bad for the sugar. I have sugar in my coffee, and I have like 3 coffees a day, and I don't have small coffees. I have very large coffees, and I sip on them all day long, and yeah, lots of sugar in there. Maybe not as much as some people have in their sugar, not as much sugar than people have in their coffee, but anyway, let's move on. I had a bunch of stories, and this is why I can never get to them, because I end up just talking and going on rants about all kinds of things. Whoever said that sugar is a thing is spot on. yeah, sugar's pretty bad for you. You definitely need to have sugar. Do not go sugarless. Absolutely. You cannot go without any sugar, and you should always have some sugar in case you need it. But people over sugar constantly. Yeah, just think about how much is in a soda, and people drink that stuff constantly. Anyway, let's move on. Green energy, wind and solar doesn't have a tech yet to take over from fossil fuels, and if we use some of the profits from oil and gas to develop green energy, we will get there faster than just cutting back on fossil fuels and taxing people to death, says CB Fixes All. And this is in reply to this one here. Canadians want to develop our energy industry. Why is the government still standing in the way? A new poll by Ledger conducted in July has found that 60% of Canadians support increasing Canadian oil and gas exports. Not only exports, but like consuming our own oil. Why are we buying oil from the Saudis? Why are we buying oil from all these places if we're trying to cut down on our oil, then the only oil we consume should be our own homegrown oil. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. Why are we buying it at cost? And why are we shipping it across the Atlantic Ocean just to consume it here when we could just produce it here? Aren't we worried about the environment? Are you convinced that it's not about the environment? Are you convinced yet? It has nothing to do with the environment. This is all about energy security, energy exploitation. This is the name of the game. This is what they want to do. Yeah, turn back on the pipeline and finish the pipelines. Just get it going. But yeah, we're going into an energy crisis right now, and it's an energy crisis of our own making. What was it? Germany of all places. They're just to show how awesome they are, so they could pat themselves on the back, shut down their nuclear power plants, just so that they could say, look at us, we went green with our energy. We went so green because now we don't have reliance on nuclear energy. Why is nuclear energy a bad thing? It's clean. It's clean, but they thought, okay, we're going to get rid of nuclear energy. So what do they turn to? They turn to some of the most expensive energy, wind and solar, which is unreliable. So if you have unreliable source of energy, what do you need to do? Well, you need to supplement it. Supplement it with what? Natural gas. Natural gas from where? Russia, of course. Russia, of course. And that's where we've gone. It's just idiotic. It's absolutely idiotic what we're doing here. If our plan is moving forward that we want to get off of fossil fuels, if our plan is to get off of fossil fuels and move along to this new economy, John Michelson, welcome, and thanks for joining as a member for the channel. If we want to move along and get away from fossil fuels, do you think the best way about it is to buy fuels from dictatorships and other places on the planet that are not good and then ship it all the way to our country? If we want to get off of these fuels and we want to go legit into alternative energy sources, why don't we make it here? We're full of resources. Why aren't we at least exploiting for our own consumption the stuff that we have here readily available? It just does not make sense. It does not make sense. This is why I keep saying it's not about the environment. This is not what they care about. It's not at all in their thing. But of course, you have to get it from a poll. So it has to come from a poll, or else politicians don't listen to it. Because what's the number one rule of being a politician? Well, number one rule of politicians and politicking is that first you get elected, and then you make sure you stay elected. That's all you do. You don't care about what the people want. You just go by polls, and that's the whole thing. So we're just going by polls constantly because the polls are where it's a simulation election, and they're ruling by that alone. And pollsters know how to get the results they're looking for. Absolutely. And that's just the thing. Hey, we got news from France. I was sent this article from a viewer of the channel. And thank God for translations, digital translations. We get this all the time now. But Klaus Schwab leaks secret letters between the World Economic Forum and members of the Dutch government have been exposed. It's written in black and white. They want to change the world without going through the will of the people. It's the very definition of the plot of the elites. And this is reflected by, and I thought I had this. Yeah, here we go. Pop this up here. So this was a politician, Danielle Smith, in, I think, what was it, Alberta? No. Yeah, Alberta. Here we go. The WEF, Danielle, sorry, How do you feel about the WEF? Question. The World Economic Forum are anti-democratic elites who have been attacking our province for years. No one in my government will be permitted to have any ties with their organization. And this is echoing Pierre Poilievre. This is the new message. And why is this the new message? Because we've been putting the message out there, and we've been getting it out there and talking with people and actually getting this. What was just a conspiracy a few months ago. There's a conspiracy to believe that this organization even existed. They pretended that it didn't even exist. And here we are now. We have politicians campaigning on the fact that it's an anti-democratic organization, straight up, hands down. If any organization that says we're infiltrating the democratically elected cabinets and spoiler alert, we're infiltrating these cabinets and then we're having them do our will instead of what they were voted to do, that is inherently and overtly anti-democratic. And absolutely, kudos to any politician who gets out there. I know they're half of them are just going to be jumping on the bandwagon, but this is the truth. This is the truth. It's the will of the people. We do not want to be run by a technocratic elite group of people. We're moving forward into a world of decentralization, and these people are trying for consolidation, and it's not going to work. And the funny thing is they have this grandiose idea of how the world's going to work in this new technocratic society, and how we're not going to need the working class and stuff like that. The reality is we don't need them. We don't need them. People want to be the working class. People want to be working class. There are so many people that are happy to be working class. There is so much fulfilling in your life that you can get out of having meaning. I fix cars for people. I love doing it. I could try to do full-time YouTube. Nah, forget it. No, I like fixing cars. This is a thing that I do every single day. I do it 8 hours a day. I show up every day. I fix cars. Sometimes it's horrible. Sometimes it's great. But I do it because it brings meaning to my life. I'm a dad because it brings meaning to my life. I'm a husband because it brings meaning to my life. This is what brings happiness to people. It's meaning. And if you have no meaning, you won't have happiness. And there is no meaning in a society where AI robots do everything for you, and there's no plight, and there's no scarcity. Well, it's never going to happen because none of that stuff will ever exist. They always leave the human element out of this stuff. Absolutely. Jamie Jubinville, thank you for the $10 super chat. WEF needs to be dispelled from all government. They have no business making decisions for people that didn't vote for them. Absolutely. I agree with that. Full stop. Full stop. Absolutely agree with that. They have no business interfering in elections, and or not in elections, sorry, interfering with politicians. They don't need to interfere with the elections because they just buy the politicians. And I honestly think that, don't we have laws on the books about that? Like, that's subversion of your government. That's I don't know what the term would be. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know this. But yeah, this is absolutely correct. But this is the thing that's been going on. But here's the article from France, and while journalists continue to deny its reality by accusing all the people who denounce the dictatorial drift of conspirators, the conspirators continue to advance their pawns on the sly, as demonstrated by these exchanges of letters between the boss of the World Economic Forum and the members most important to the Dutch government. The latter know perfectly well that they are doing what they're doing is illegal, and that their population will not agree. That is why they have tried to hide this correspondence. At the request of the FVD MP, Pepijin Van... Dutch people, you guys got the names that I just cannot get my pronunciation around. I just can't do it. Oh, come on, Dutch people. Funny thing about the Dutch, and I learned this, is that they have a lot of them. They'll have names with van in it, and that means from. And so as I can't remember who was pushing through Europe, and I don't remember who it was, but at some point, last names became a thing, and the Dutch, it was imposed on the Dutch. You have to have a last name, and they didn't have last names at the time. And this is a story I was told. I don't know how accurate this is. It could be wrong entirely, but it sounds funny to me. So what happened was people, they would say, okay, well, what's your surname? And you're like, I don't know, what's surname? What's a surname? Well, where are you from? And they'd be like, oh, I'm from over here. I'm from the river. And then Van de Wettering happens, and that's from the river. And then Van Dyke, so I'm from the dike. And people would just go by that. But apparently in Holland, there are some like really silly names because they didn't think it was going to take off. They thought it was just like this fad. Oh, okay, it's coming through. People have surnames. Yeah, we're never going to use that, really. So some people have like names like from the shoe, from like just inanimate objects and stuff. So yeah, and that became a thing, and it did stick, and they still have those silly names. So it's kind of a funny thing about the Dutch. Anyway, so horribly hard to pronounce names that I'll never get right, but that's a that's a thing. The last names came in to tax you, so that they could tell Joe from up the street. Yeah, exactly. That's why they started getting the surnames. There you are. But I thought that was funny that they just had a laugh about it, and they gave themselves names that were silly sometimes. I wonder what who Wellingen means. I'll look that up after. Anyway, at a request from Pepijn van Huwelingen, probably just brutalized that. Secret letters from the World Economic Forum to members of the cabinet, Dutch government, were made public last Friday. In the letters addressed to the Prime Minister Rutte, D66 leader Sigrid Kaag, and CDA leader, I'm not even going to try. Cabinet members are personally thanked for their contribution to the Great Reset. Nice. So anyway, it goes into detail about what the correspondence was, and hey, thanks for bringing this agenda to your people against their will. Yeah, no problem. High fives, fist bump, elbows. Thanks for being a complete sellout to your nation. Is essentially what it is. And they have links here where you can go check out all the different ones. I think I'm gonna post that in the Discord, so if anybody wants to go check that out, I'll put that in the Discord under verified information. Whoop-ow. Go check that out, and that's that article from LL question mark from France, and that is a thing. So yeah, it's being exposed. It's being exposed. A lot of people, they don't want to be exposed, because yeah, the more we learn about it, the more people learn about it, the more they are not good with it. They do not want to. They don't want to go along with these ideas of what the World Economic Forum wants for us, especially in Holland. Holy cow! They want to tear down all their farms, pave over it, and make a giant super city, which we talked about last week. Tri-state city, if you haven't heard of it, look it up. It is just like, are you kidding me? They always want to build cities over the most fertile land in the world. Why? No, you're a hooker. Please eat the bugs. What a handle. Nice one. Amazing. Nope, that's a bad idea. That's insane. Yeah, smart cities utopia. Absolutely. It's dumb. It's going to fail. Even if they get everything they wanted, even if everything goes to plan, it's going to fail. Absolutely. They forget about the human element. People aren't going to want it. Anyway, let's move on. Talk about some of the culture war stuff. So the culture war is raging. The culture war is raging. We've all heard about it. Some people have no patience for it. Some people say, Clyde, I don't want to hear anything about the culture war. I don't care. I got no dog in that fight. You absolutely have a dog in that fight, because the culture war is where this is all coming from. The culture war is the ideological subversion that has been put on society, and we have to fight back on it. I understand people are just like, I don't want to talk about the Zims and the Zers and the people with the crazy ideas. I don't want to talk about it. But no, this is important. It's an important battle, because this is part of tearing society apart. It's the idea of first remove the most crucial foundation of society, the family. Tear the family apart, and then everything else afterwards will be easy to crumble. But yeah, I saw this. People were posting this on Twitter, and this is a YouTube short. I don't usually get into the YouTube shorts. Politics is downstream from culture. Andrew Breitbart. That's absolutely war. That's absolutely war. That's absolutely right. It's Clyde's show, dealer's choice. Absolutely. Hey, I almost missed another Friday. Hi, Clyde. Hi. The person's name is Hi. Yes, we're gonna get into this. This is the better get to know a farmer, people. Absolutely. But here we go. You share the English version of that link in Discord. So the English version is your browser will translate it. You can get your browser to translate it. That's exactly what I did. This ultimately a war on truth, absolutely. But the culture war, everything is downstream from culture. But this was a really interesting one. Kind of took me back a little bit, and here we go.
So here it is, the most unpopular opinion I'll ever do. I hope you guys duet and stitch and save or whatever you need to do to this, because it's going to get down fast. If I would have understood when I was younger that fighting for my rights as a lesbian would mean allowing children to drag shows, attaching child molesters to our community, and allowing children to change their sex before they even know what their favorite color is, I would have never done it. Never.
Well, it's a bit too late for a lot of kids, but thank you for your...
I've only got 60 seconds.
Just skips.
So here
It
is
just
the
skips.
most unpopular.
All right. But that one's heavy. That one's really heavy. But so this calls into question the slippery slope fallacy, as they call it. When is the slippery slope no longer a fallacy? When is it the slippery slope idea? You know what I mean? The idea that when you give an inch, they take a mile. And it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on in this whole idea of all of this. But we've gone full circle. We've gone full circle to the point where this new wackadoodle thing, and we saw it trending on Twitter that the LGB, I guess I have a new organization, LGBA, the Alliance, the LGB Alliance. So we all know that it was, I don't know why, I got to get into this fight because I got no dog in it, but it is the culture war, and it's the thing where, yeah, this is at the end of the battle is your family and the ability to even have a family. Remember when they told some right-wingers who said gay marriage would lead to stuff like this, we're crazy, right? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Okay, that's funny. But yeah, Cracker, thanks for coming, joining the chat. But here we are. It was trending on Twitter. The LGB dropped the T. and the T plus. What is the acronym these days? The acronym is just ridiculous. It's gone so far. Let's just search this up. What is the how long is the LGB acronym? How long is the LGB acronym? It goes crazy. It gets insane. Depending on the source, right? How long is the LGB acronym? It's LGBTQQIP2SAA. Stands for... oh, there's too much stuff. But then there's another one. Why is this one different? Oh, no, it's the same. What is an ally? You see all this stuff, right? So this stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, queer, intersex, pansexual, two-spirit, androgynous, and asexual. Anyway, a lot of people in the LGB are saying they just want to drop everything after the B. They just want to drop everything after the B. Everything else gotta go, because everything else is some sort of like identity or whatever. It should just be LG. I mean, I don't know. Look up the flags. Yeah, no, I did look up the flags once, and it was just whatever. Guy incognito, LOL. So, oh, the ads I'm gonna get from Google now because of the stuff that I search. Anyway, so here's the deal. They've been pushing against it because it turns out that the everything beyond LGB, the TQQIP2SAA, have gone full homophobic against gay people. They've gone full homophobic against gay people. So the same thing that they've been saying about conservative people for decades or whatever, just because people don't want to have marriage in churches. And my opinion's always been, why is the government involved in marriage anyway? What are you doing? But I don't believe you should force anything on a religious institution. It's separated from the government, absolutely. But if another church wants to have it, whatever, it's on them. I don't care. I just don't believe that the government should be involved in it in the first place. What do we got here? BA with a $10 super chat saying, the intolerance of certain religious fatwa were the original woke offensive. 3 million for the death of Salman Rushdie. It really needs to be challenged because it's shutting down freedom for control. Wow, that's crazy. I heard news that Salman Rushdie was rushed to hospital for being stabbed. In 3 million for the death. Unbelievable. Here we're talking about woke stuff, the woke offensive, and yeah. Well, there's other people that they won't speak out about because they'll actually come after you physically. But that is a thing. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, BA. But yeah, you're right. Government has nothing to do with marriage. It should have nothing to do with marriage. It had to do with marriage because of people just, what was it? The government wanted to keep track of who was married to who for Health Canada, so that they could keep track of like diseases and stuff. That was the original thing. We don't need it. It should just be disbanded, and you should just, you know, there's common law, whatever, and you know, you could have common laws with whoever you want, and that's the thing. But anyway, the Salman Rushdie thing, I hope he's okay. I hope he pulls through, because he was attacked, and at last I knew, his condition is unknown. So I really hope he's okay. Do you mean the Mandolin effect? I don't know. I don't know what the Mandolin effect is. Check the latest front page news and Daily Hot. What? I'm getting off track here. I'm getting off track. Anyway, what I was getting at was, so the new everything after the LGB has gone full homophobic, and no joke, somebody put together a page of just Twitter statements: woke homophobia, anti-gay hatred, and boxer stealing abuse. I don't know what that is. I don't know what boxer stealing abuse. From trans activists and gender identity ideologues. And this is a whole, it goes on and on and on. And some of the vitriol that you see here. So cis, if you don't know what that word means, cis just means normal. So this is like transgender ideology language. They have their own like terms and language stuff. Hot singles in Clyde's neighborhood. You guys are horrible. You guys are horrible. I'm trying to tell this story here. But anyway, so this got put out there. So literally, people are saying here's the narrative, that the narrative is that if a woman transitions to be a man, then gay men should wanna be with that person. And inversely, if a woman transition or a man transitions to be a woman, then lesbian women should be attracted to them and want to make coitus with them. And it's so absurd. It's so absurd. So we've gone full circle from we've gone from, well, I mean, it's not even full circle. We've gone way down this crazy train. Where, you know, people who just happen to be gay, they have, you know, a proclivity for that. They just wanted to be not persecuted for that in society. So we got there. Gay people can live their lives without fear of retribution for just being themselves. And there you go. There we are. So now we've gone into this new era where it's not about fighting for people's rights. It's now going so far as to say that your rights are being infringed on if people aren't attracted to you and want to do the horizontal mambo. This is legit the arguments that they have. And then there's this whole page based just on that. Cis gay men who don't like and wouldn't date trans men are messed up and disgusting. And I'm not reading that out loud. Cis gay men would rather shove an eggplant up. It's horrible. It's horrible. I don't even know why I'm getting in this story. I saw it. I thought it was noteworthy. And now I'm like, I'm regretting actually even getting into this. Lover of the male anatomy quote. We get it. You're cis exit and cis sexist and transphobic. This is real people believe this. So what was funny, Cracker saying, Clyde, stop. Okay. Yeah, no, it's true. It is true. Why are we going down this? All I wanted to say was there's a difference between fighting for rights. There's a difference between fighting for rights and trying to impose your will on people and then calling it rights. Down that rabbit hole. Let's get away from that. So, but the ultimate thing that people need to understand, that people aren't understanding clearly, and this is the case with this, and this is why I say that the culture war, it spills downhill. Come on, Clyde, they aren't real people. Some of them are real people. Unacceptable fringe, my man Derek with a $6.99 super chat. Just finished an interview with Mr. Sunshine Baby. Thought I'd pop in here quickly, but I'll see you tomorrow. Cowabunga. Yeah. No, we're definitely having that stream tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be playing some Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But yeah, I can understand how you're getting turned off by the conversation at the moment. But here's where I'm getting at. And like I said, the culture war, it runs downhill. We're all going to end up dealing with this at some point. And the point is these people are eroding the concepts with their ideology, they're eroding their concepts of what freedom and what rights are. And with this idea that somebody is infringing on your rights because they won't engage in intimate activities with you is ludicrous. And to think that people are actually coming to the table and saying that while this show is getting banned. Gotta split, take care. Cheers, Mike. Cracker saying, you can be trans, be gay, be straight. I don't care. Just be chill. Absolutely. But this, again, this is where I'm getting at, that individuals are actually trying to use this ideology to step over the boundaries and claim new rights that don't exist. New rights that they say that is being infringed upon when you don't. It's a compulsion to do a thing. And if it starts with the language, like Jordan Peterson has been fighting about for so long. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm gonna not say that one, newbie. Not read that one out loud. But it started with the fight that Jordan Peterson brought, and that was compelled speech. The idea that you have to say the words that they dictate that you have to say and compel you to say them, or else coming after you with the law. They're coming after you. And what is the law? What is the law? It's guns and throwing you in a cage. That's what it is. And it's violence. It's the monopoly of violence. So yeah, and then next comes now we're compelling you to do certain acts, and that is what's going on. And yes, it's happening in a minority group at the moment. And I know I don't have a dog in the fight there, but here's where my dog is in the fight. My dog is compelled action, being compelled to do a thing, and whether it's for societal norms or it's actually like against the law to not deal with this compulsion. Brave New World is a novel, dystopian novel where I haven't read it. I've read only excerpts from it, but there apparently there's a bit in it where in their society you're actually it's an offense to decline somebody's sexual advances. And here we are. So it's not just Orwell, it's Brave New World that we're living in right now. BA with a $5 super chat. It's about loving relationships, whatever rabbit hole you're in. Wink. Fair enough. But I think I'm gonna move on because I've just had enough of that conversation. Holy. Why don't we get to one of these stories that I got to this week? Canadians trust the media is at an Canadians trust in the media is at an all-time high, study finds. This is a CBC News headline. 9 out of 10 Canadians polled said they had strong or absolute trust in the CBC News, a CBC study has found. So this is funny. Because this is a post that got shared around on a lot of social media, and it's a fake thing. It's if you believed it, I mean, it's just funny anyway. But Reuters had to get in there and make sure that nobody misunderstood that this was not. They had to fact check that. Fact check, image purporting to show CBC News headline on media trust being at an all-time high is fabricated. Of course, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the article to see what the actual fact is. The verdict, before the verdict, per the digital news report published by Reuters Institute at the University of Oxford in June 2022, there has been a decline in overall trust in news in Canada over the past 4 years, from 58% to 42%. And this is from their bias poll. The reason why I brought this one up is because I think it's so funny that it takes the fact checkers The fact checkers just wanna school people for their things that they're putting out on the social media. How dare you make a false statement? How dare you say something? And then they end up just totally schooling themselves, because guess what, Reuters? You're part of that 52% that is not trusted by anyone. There was a lawsuit that happened in the United States with Facebook, where they had to admit in the court, or else be held liable, that their fact checkers are actually just opinions. They're just lefty opinions, by the opinions of the staff. And they're fact checkers that are third party affiliates with Facebook themselves. But that's a thing that happened. And there we are. Moving on, Pelosi. I had to throw this one out there because it's just too funny. Pelosi defends bringing son with Chinese business ties to Taiwan trip as escort. We all know that Nancy Pelosi somehow miraculously got really, really good on the stock market when she got her position as Speaker of the House. Suddenly, she's just really good with stocks. I don't know how that happened, but nonetheless, best trader ever. Woo! Woo! Business ties. Oh yeah. So, when asked whether her son Paul Pelosi Jr. had any business dealings with during the trip, Pelosi said, "Of course he did not. Of course he did not." In a Wednesday press conference, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi defended bringing her son along on her trip to Taiwan and other Asian countries alongside her Congress members. Speaking to reporters on Capitol Hill, Pelosi said, "His role was to be my escort. Usually, we invited spouses. Not all could come, but I had him come, and I was proud he was there to buy stocks and bonds." I mean, he was proud. I was just proud he was there. Yeah. Oh, mother and son trip. Yeah. Right. When asked whether her son had any business dealings during the trip, Pelosi said, "Of course he did not." According to Daily Mail, Paul Pelosi Jr. is the second largest investor in $22 million Chinese company called Borg's Technologies. In Securities and Exchange Commission's documents obtained by the outlet, it revealed that the younger Pelosi also worked for the telecoms company in either a board or a consultancy role. We all know how that works. When you end up on a board somewhere because you got ties to government officials. Well, we all know where this story's going. I don't think I have to go any further with it. But that essentially is where we're at. Government officials do not much else but allegedly embezzle money and allegedly make business dealings when they should be representing the people of a country. But I'm not sure what even the point of her trip to Taiwan, other than drumming up anger from China to possibly start another war. She was very eager about the whole Ukraine experience and all that juicy money that's going to get embezzled. I mean, sent to the Ukrainians for buying guns from the companies that she's invested in. I mean, defending Ukraine from I don't even know right. I don't even know what's going on there. I have no idea. All I know is it costs a lot of money and nobody seems to be getting it. Anyway, moving on. Yesterday I had the distinct privilege of talking to a lovely woman from the Northwest Territories on the telephone. I spoke to Jackie from the Northern Farm Training Institute yesterday on the telephone. She gave me a lot of information. There's a lot that we talked about yesterday. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I did this story, I believe it was last week. And I said, hey, anyone from that institute, reach out to me if you'd like to chat. I would love to chat about this. And I would love to bring Jackie on the show, and hopefully we can get her on at some point to talk more about this. But I'll bring you to the original post. And this was a Facebook post that was being passed around as an image on other social medias, but it was the Northern Farm Training Institute. Turns out we're not allowed to sell our produce to our community on our farm. Last Saturday, our farm stand, our own property, was shut down by the government. The Northwest Territories government has made the selling of food from farmers directly to the people illegal now in the Northwest Territories. The public is only allowed to buy food from producers who have government permission through a government permitting program. We still want to continue sharing our produce with the people in our community, especially in a community that's already struggling with food insecurity and access to fresh and healthy food, and especially in times like these when food shortages are on the horizon. So starting today, there is a permanent farm stand locating at the entrance of the NFTI, right by the highway, where you can pick up farm fresh eggs, organically grown vegetables every day, picked every morning, and freshly baked sourdough bread on Saturdays. We're offering the food as a gift. We do accept donations. Take what you like, but please leave enough for others. We stock up every morning. Thanks to everyone for supporting us. And the Amish are big mad. Why is that? I missed that in the chat. But it turns out that wasn't the end of the story. So there's more things that Jackie had posted here. She did post about the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. That was the UN Council. I think it was drafted in the 70s. Talked about that. Really got me onto Alan Savory, and I binge watched a bunch of stuff yesterday. Definitely go check out Holistic Farming Practices. Really interesting thing on how to reverse desertification of the planet, like places that are deserts, and how to change that by, surprisingly, by having more cows, actually being smart with them and putting that out there. But definitely got into that. Lots of posts on their page here about eating the bugs. So definitely knowing what's going on here. But moving forward, posting about the Dutch farmers. But here we have, these are the emails I received. Yeah, these are emails I received from someone who shared and wrote to the premier of the Northwest Territories regarding the attempt to shut down our farm and stand based on a new created policy. The government employee from the health department said it is now a requirement for us to have both a permit and a license approved kitchen to vend farm-grown and baked low-risk foods. The same low-risk foods which down south have been vended for decades without permits and license. When reflecting on these letters, according to the premier, there are no farms or just token few, nor will there be farms in the future because the government's opinion, poor soil and harsh climate will prevent people from growing food. So this is the thing that Jackie was telling me yesterday, is like when they asked about it, they said, well, there's not a lot of farms here anyway. Why is it a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because why are you putting licensing on this stuff? What is your reason? And they didn't give a reason. So why create the policy like this in the first place? Why try to regulate the sector they think is impossible in the Northwest Territories to exist in the first place? Who incited the creation of this legislation? If the elected MLAs have the opinion that there are no farms and never will be, why create such a policy? It's honestly, like, there is no logical sense to it based on what they're saying, right? Why would they approve spending time and money for a sector that they don't believe exists or ever can, according to the statement from this premier? The Northwest Territories does not have the soil conditions required to grow crops, in quotes. The email thread starts at page 2. Yeah, I could go through all that, but just straight up. So there's no reason for this. Talking to Jackie, it was like, I mean, there's not a lot of people in the Northwest Territories, right? It's quite remote. There's Native communities, and then there's other people that live there. There's scientists that live up there for scientific reasons and for studies and whatnot. And apparently, and I didn't know this, there's a lot of bureaucrats. There's a lot of government jobs, and they keep making new offices and they keep making new bureaucracies in order to justify their existence, because they keep getting federal money. So they just keep coming up with newer and newer things to justify throwing a budget at. And well, this is why we need some sort of incentive to get rid of bureaucracies. A lot of these things are, there's no need for them. We don't need more regulation in the market, especially when it comes to people just selling food directly from farmer to people. Now, if you look at this in a grand scale picture, it looks a lot more like the Northwest Territories is a bit of a test audience. It's a test demographic to see, well, are people actually going to stand up to this? Are people going to say no? How is it going to play out if we implement this across the other provinces? And I'll tell you what, there a lot of people who live in cities, they don't care. They don't care at all. But a lot of people who don't live in the cities, who are used to buying directly from farmers, who and this is not a small thing, buying directly from farmers. They want to shut that down unless you get a special permit. Well, what does a special permit mean? It means that they made it illegal unless you get permission. Essentially is what it is. You're not allowed to sell food to people unless you have permission. Yes, that means you've made selling food to people, directly to people, illegal unless you have permission. And then how do you get that permission? Well, you're probably going to have to go through a lot of red tape. What happens when a market is regulated? Well, just find out. Ask someone who grows pot. And I don't care about pot. It's not a big thing, but I always thought that whatever, it's not hurting anybody. It should just be legal anyway, right? In Canada, there was advocacy groups and people who grew it for decades and fought for the legalization of it. And finally, a politician came in and said, I'm gonna make it legal. And what did they do? Well, that politician got all his friends in and crowded everybody else out of the market that actually made the market what it is today. And that's exactly what happened. Too bad I don't comply. Exactly. Buy from farmers. If you have to, just do as this stand says. Oh, well, I didn't buy anything. I took free food and I gave them a donation. And that's exactly how we might have to play it. I've been to a motorcycle club. I was never a member of a motorcycle club, but I got invited to a club once, and I was surprised because it was all after hours and we were all having beers, but it was all by donation only. And I thought that was convenient. And I think that's the way things will go if this is the implementation, because we know we don't have representative from our members of parliament. Our members of parliament are the people who hold office in our ridings. Who do they answer to? Do they answer to the public? It doesn't seem that way. Not with what they've been implementing. Not at all. It sounds like they have an agenda and it's moving forward. I think where it ends is where we stop complying, and that's absolutely the truth. This all ends when everyone stops complying. I think that's maybe that'll just be the sentiment for today. That'll be the sentiment for this evening's stream. I was gonna get into a few other things, but I think we nailed it. I think we nailed it. And the sentiment today is it's all over. It's all over when we all stop complying. That easy. That easy. But you got to convince people. You got to wake people up so they just stop complying with it. Soylent Green is coming. Soylent Green is people. Sorry. Spoiler. Spoiler. It's not crickets. But they want us eating the cricket burgers and the cricket dogs. That's what's coming down the pipe. But I digress. Hey, why doesn't everybody go file over to the Discord? We're going to go hang out in there. If you're not yet a member of the Discord community, get on over there. Get on over there. Discord's a great place to hang. There's not just my community. There's other communities, lots of other communities that people hang out. But I hang out in my community with you guys. And there's a lot of great people that hang out every time after the stream. And on other times, conversations happening all the time over in that Discord. But jump in. I'll be in there. I'm gonna have a couple of wobbly pops. I think I deserved it. I had a full work week. It's the end of the work week. And tomorrow I'll be on here with Derek again with a bonus stream. And that bonus stream is we're gonna be playing some Ninja Turtles arcade game. They made a new version, a new one of my favorite, which was Turtles in Time. I used to play that at my local corner store that had always an arcade game and a pinball machine. My favorite was definitely the Ninja Turtles in Time. They have a new one. I think it's Shredder's Revenge, I believe it's called. We're going to be playing that, and we're going to be talking about new books coming down from Derek's company. Of course, he had massive hit success, How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom. This is my signed copy, by the way. Derek Smith and Kaide Knipe. Great book. And there's more books coming, so we're going to be talking about that tomorrow while we bang on some sticks and get some Ninja Turtles to defeat the evil Shredder. Legit, that's what we're doing tomorrow. So come join in. We're going to have some fun. And before that, come join in the Discord. We're going to have some beers and we're going to hang out. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Having lots of fun, but I'm going to end it there, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Keep on trucking.